Okay.
Monday reminder. You learn more by doing than you do by reading, planning, or talking about doing.
You learn more by actually doing the thing.
Doing the thing.
That's very true.
Give me your first thoughts, Josh.
Just from my own experience of wanting to do anything and everything for a while. When you think about it a lot, it seems so easy and, oh, yeah, I could do that, Mm-hmm. And you don't really know until you actually do the thing and learn what your challenges are, what it's going to actually take to succeed in a certain thing. So I definitely agree with that. It's easy to think how well it'll be and plan it out, but until you actually do it, it's just a dream at that point.
Mm-hmm. Dave Ramsey has a very similar thing he says, where he calls it paralysis of the analysis.
Ooh, I like that.
Right?
That's true.
Listen, educating yourself on things is always very important, but so much that you need to know about whatever it is you're trying to figure out doesn't actually come to you until you actually start doing it. Right? So let's start spinning this one into like a dog training thing, right? I've got a couple examples of how I see a similar issue in dog training, right? The first and foremost one are a lot of the people that we see in our comment section day after day after day after day, right? I've got this issue. What do I do about this, right? How do I stop this problem? Whatever, right? And it's not even an exaggeration. Between comments and messages and all that kind of stuff, like probably 5 to 10 times per day, we have somebody reaching out and saying, hey, I have this problem. I need tips. I need advice, right? But I would bet you every single one of those people never actually take action on any of the tips or advice that are being given to them.
Yeah.
Right? They're interested in looking for a solution, right? And researching as many different solutions as they could possibly find. And then they'll sit there and they'll have all of the knowledge in front of them, right? But something is holding them back from taking action and implementing some of those solutions.
Yeah.
Right? That's one we see all the time. The second example gets back to from more of the trainer side of things, right? Which is sometimes we'll do board and trains with people, right? And in the send home lesson, we'll get too hung up on the question and answer side of things in the board and train, right? They'll be asking all sorts of different like hypothetical questions and asking about different situations they may experience and this and that. And some of that is important to an extent. I'm not saying all learning or reading or asking is not important, but many of those questions that they have, they would be far more equipped if we just let those things happen organically so we could teach them in the moment, right?
Okay.
So if I'm working with a client and, we start a board and train with them, it's going to be a 3-hour-long board and train send home lesson, right? And, if I spend the first hour to hour and a half just sitting there talking to them, answering questions and saying, when this happens, you're going to do this. When this happens, you're going to do this. When this happens, you do this, right? What's going to happen is I'm going to waste all this time where I could have just had them start working with the dog right away. And then as they work with the dog, I could coach them in real time through these things. So not only are they learning the information, but they're practicing it in the moment. And by physically doing it, you start developing the muscle memory and you start answering the questions on your own in your head.
Yeah.
Right? So I would say this one is very important from both the trainer standpoint as well as the client standpoint. From the trainer standpoint, you've got to make sure that you're not being too much the distributor of information without action, right? So you got to get the people just working with the dogs, right? And then answering questions in real time, but having them kind of work through some of these hurdles on their own by just doing it, right? Yeah. And then from the client standpoint, if you're going to seek out information, once you've seeked out the information, immediately come up with a game plan on how you're going to apply it to your dog. Right? So take action right away. If you look up a video, if you're like, if you're one of the people that says, oh my God, my dog pulls on a walk and is reactive, right? Well, find one solution for it somewhere and then do that thing. Just do it, right? Whether it's you have to switch a training tool, whether it's how you're implementing a training tool, whether it's how you go for your walk, whatever it may be, just actually take action on that thing right away, right? And then I guess from the trainer standpoint, on the other side of the equation, you have like your learning as a trainer. There are so many people that get hung up in the continuing knowledge standpoint of like they're taking courses and watching videos and all this kind of stuff. And I think we talked about this with maybe Blake or Tyler or somebody. Sometimes I think as trainers, we take in too much information on different ways to train because we're trying to educate ourselves, but we never have an opportunity to take whatever information we just learned and experiment with it and play with it. So knowledge without the execution of the knowledge and without the understanding and the experience of actually doing the thing that you learned, it's useless. It's going to go in one ear, out the other. And if you haven't had an opportunity to practice it and play with it, it's just useless information at that point.
That's true. It's in one ear, out the other, right?
Yeah. So that's quote number one.
Yeah, I like that. And you do make a great point on, I guess it's almost like over-educating yourself where, like take, for example, in school, there's like probably a lot of things that we don't really remember from high school.
Sure.
And it's just knowledge,
You never used it.
Yeah.
That's a great tie into it, I feel like.
Yeah. Especially like my math, I feel like.
Yeah.
I just don't ever do geometry or any of that kind of stuff, and it's like, I couldn't tell you left from right from that now, but you're right. The things that you retain are the ones that you practice on and you keep fresh in your mind and what you're actually using day to day.
So the key is, as a trainer or as an owner, just start doing the things that you're learning about. You know what I mean? Don't just keep learning about things and trying to figure out, what the next thing you need to learn is. Learn something and then do it.